Media lights up with responses to Thursday night's first presidential debate of the 2024 election. WIFR reporter Adalia Young talks to local political experts about the fallout and what we could see in the few months before the rematch.
Club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships.
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him.
Swift and cutting, potential voters across the internet passionately reacted to the first presidential debate of the year, with many criticizing both candidates' performance.
It's definitely going to affect the way people view President Biden and former President Trump's capacity to handle the job of the presidency. We've had the benefit of seeing them both in office.
Many experts feel Thursday night's debate could have an even deeper impact. Rockford University political science professor Bob Evans says the performances made him feel uninspired to vote.
Nobody inspired me. Nobody made me think that's the person I'm going to ring doorbells for and knock on doors and vote for. It was a turnoff.
Rock Valley College professor Maureen Lowry raised concerns about factual problems in the debate. She hopes a live fact checker is used to hold candidates accountable and keep viewers properly informed.
That was my one, constructive criticism, is have a fact checker in real time. It can be done. It absolutely can be done. There are real-time blurbs that are interjected that no, the accurate information is actually this, and they provide links to the data and the evidence, and that's of critical importance.
In Rockford, Adalia Young, WIFR News.
AP News, The Washington Post, CBS, and many other news sources fact-check information that was said during the debate. You can find other websites that fact-check on our website, WIFR.com.